thought I was going to cough. And then I did. How do you know? Wait, let me get my Dr. Pepper. So who's all on for tomorrow then?
I am anticipating it's me, you, Seth, and Sydney.
What time are we thinking? Do you know?
Like noon.
Okay, noonish.
Because she works at 3, so
cool.
Try and be done by 2:30. I just finished the script last night. I just have to watch the movie now.
And what movie is it?
Roman Holiday.
Oh, that's right.
You have the schedule.
I don't know.
You have it.
I don't know. All right. How do we know it? Maybe a little gambling talk in there too.
You see my office behind me? There's a bed in here now.
Ooh. Who's sleeping in there?
Nobody right now, but we destroyed the guest room and took everything out of it to start assembling for nursery number 2.
When does nursery 1 transition into bedroom?
I guess it is pretty much bedroom now.
Is that a psychological question?
Yeah, I guess it feels like it would be bedroom once there's no crib and it's a bed, but I don't fully know.
Maybe it's like a duck and a duck thing.
I don't know what that means.
Yes. I think you know what that means.
Yeah, you're right. I do actually. You finished the movie?
Yeah, it was in pieces, but yeah, over a while ago.
You made it. All right.
I think I remember some of it.
Let's do. I know. I watched it. On Monday night after we were done.
I watched a bit on Tuesday in prep and then Wednesday.
In prep.
And then it was a week as well. We have one more girls basketball game left.
And then you're done.
I'm out for good. Maybe.
Think about how much free time. Are you doing anything with track or tennis or?
I might help out with tennis just because Alex is coaching it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think really. I'll be there just like supervise. I don't even know if I'll do that.
But you don't have any. You don't have any full-time coaching gigs left.
No. I'll probably just stay after school and grade and shit, which should even be more time at home and shit. Yeah.
Cool. That'll free you up in your personal life.
I need to grade so badly. One of my classes is like one assignment in since January. It's bad. They're like, how are we doing? I'm like, I don't know. You might pass later on. Yeah, I guess keep up with it.
That's why if I went the teacher route, I always wanted to be like a math teacher. Like, you find the answer, correct? Not. Boom. Good. I don't want to have to read papers or...
Yeah, it sucks. Shit's such ass. All right, I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, play. Movie. How do you know though? How do you know it's a movie?
You know when that big old Columbia Paramount.
Mm-hmm. It was Columbia, yeah.
Yeah, Columbia logo comes up. And then there's like a lion that roars.
No, this didn't have it. This was an MGM.
And then there's some spotlights, and you think this right here is a movie.
It's not 20th Century. And then Earth spins.
Yeah, it's Universal.
It's Columbia. How do you know starts with a young Lisa awaiting her turn at T-ball. And after a boy fails, she tries and she crushes it.
She's a natural. I remember a story of Justin Morneau, Twins' former first baseman, playing
Okay.
t-ball, and they wouldn't let him play t-ball because he hit the ball too hard, and the other kids were like getting hurt and injured.
You know, this guy's bound for the pros when
he's a little kid. Yeah, just crushing kids' heads.
200 feet. You're like, whoa, what the hell? Off a tee.
Please stop that shit.
Well, that boy that failed, he's upset that she crushed it, so he turns and shoves her down. She's still a girl, guys. She's not that strong.
It's not football, Brandon. You can't shove.
I mean, that's also true. But he does shove her. And you get a montage of Lisa. She's growing older. She's succeeding at this sport time and time again. And then eventually...
She turns into Witherspoon.
She turns into Reese Witherspoon and an Olympic gold medalist for Team USA softball.
Can you name any professional softball players?
I can't.
Me neither.
I can't.
Monet Davis. Remember, she was a baseball player.
She was, the Little League World Series. She was nuts. She was good.
Eyelash in my eye.
Well, now a team of scouts and a Team USA coach are filling out the roster for this upcoming year's Olympic roster. And although she is like the lifeblood of the team, the coach is adamant about cutting her because she's 31 and she's kind of slow now.
She's ancient. It's like that old adage. You're like, there goes the 34-year-old quarterback, the oldest player in NFL history. What a miracle.
And then LeBron was 40 in the Olympics, still playing.
He's still going right now.
You're just going nuts.
4 seed. They just had Luka. Hi, Ginger.
Lisa is training with her team when she gets a phone call. She's not alerted that she's not on Team USA yet or anything, but she gets a phone call and gets hit in the face with the ball while distracted. Her call is from a young white-collar executive, Mr. George Madison, Paul Rudd, who at the time was advised by a friend of Lisa's to give her a call, maybe to go out on a date because she's been single and looking for somebody. Yeah. But he calls her not to set up a date or anything. He calls out of politeness because he wants to explain that he has a relationship with his girlfriend, Terry, and that has just become much more serious. So
it took the next step.
Yeah. So he can't be dating.
What does that mean?
Anal.
Anal. Straight from the father's mouth. Remember when you talked to my mom about Brown Eyed Girl at the bar?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, not what that song's about.
I told one of my technicians was playing a Spotify playlist and Watermelon Sugar came on and she's super religious and I told her that how it's about vaginas and eating a girl out and she was like,
that one's true.
She was like, what? And I was like, yeah, if you listen to it, it's definitely about that. So she removed the song from her playlist because it's not for her Christian ways.
Got a lot more to go.
I know.
Yeah. Tell her every song. Tell her how.
Well, Brown Eyed Girl came on a couple songs later, and I told her it's about butt sex.
Did she delete that too?
She did not.
Tell her Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley is about fucking a dead woman.
What?
It's not true, but imagine.
I didn't think so. I was like, there's no way.
It is. It's not. It's not.
And so at the end of the call, George receives some mail that contains a lawsuit that he's kind of unfamiliar with. He's like, I'm being sued for what?
What the fuck? I'm a good boy.
He's a good boy. I'm a real boy. And Lisa, because she doesn't have Paul Nokia. That's good. And Lisa, now not dating George, finds a new guy. His name's Matty Reynolds, a pitcher for the Washington Nationals Major League Baseball team.
Wow, pitcher. Yeah.
I throw the ball. Wow.
Here comes our fastball. He's not all that believable, but he's like a likable, goofy bird person.
Yeah, he's immature, but yeah, he is goofy and he could be fun. Lisa, she ends up spending the night with Maddie that night, wakes up with him the next day. and he is ecstatic over not good but great sex that they had. And then he makes her a smoothie and makes her
There's some athletes,
he
yeah.
makes her eat that banana out of the smoothie. There's a whole banana in it, like Bloody Marys. How they have that whole stalk of celery in there.
That was weird, yeah. But they're baseball players, I guess, are similarly inclined athletes, so
Yeah.
they got a lot of chemistry. They got a lot going. They got a lot in common. Yeah.
Team chemistry.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of
What
common.
plays this? She's a second baseman, right? Is that what they said?
I think she's a second
Shortstop?
baseman, but in practices she was playing over at third. But when she went to grab
Yeah.
a phone call, but she's an infielder.
I just do an L. Brooks thing. I feel like a third baseman would be a lot heftier than Reese Witherspoon.
That's what I'm thinking. You need to be a little bit bigger, have a stronger arm to get it across the diamond quicker. She feels like a shortstop or a second baseman.
And at third base, you usually want that to be a power hitter because it requires less mobility than some of the other fielding positions, so you can stock up on some muscle there.
That and first base, yeah, those two.
First base is
although first base has got to be flexible to get the digs out of the ground.
That's true. You can teach that, I think. First base, they're all crazy athletes.
You can't teach somebody how to be 6'4", 230. You can teach somebody how to stretch a little more, though.
Yeah. I mean, even my old ass can get in a little bit of a stretch. I did a cartwheel at practice the other day.
Nice. The other day in the pharmacy, I just started doing all the normal stretches, and I felt so good afterwards. Like, I should be stretching more.
Everyone should be stretching more. I should be stretching more. Everyone should be stretching more.
But you're right. She's small. She should be a second baseman or shortstop, like a Chase Utley. Like a Jimmy Rollins. Oh, hey!
Yeah.
We're just naming Phillies players now. Ryan Howard, except that guy's not small. Ryan Howard.
Gigantic, yeah.
Whoa, what was the outfielder? Shane Victorino. Yeah, we're on one right now.
There's a couple. Carlos Ruiz was up there.
Yep, Carlos Ruiz. I can't remember anymore.
Cole Hamels, of course.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Roy Halladay.
What about Mookie Betts, who's gone from center field to right field to left field to now second base? And yeah, he's a bowler and he can dunk. Have you seen the videos of him running football routes and just separating?
He's an all-time athlete. Yeah.
This guy is nuts.
He's tiny, but he's great.
Wild. Let's get back to this movie, though. They had that smoothie and great sex. But Lisa's fed up with Maddie as she feels like she's just another number of his when she's like, I got to get out of here. I got to change my clothes. He's like, I got clothes for you. He opens it up and he's got an array of toothbrushes. Yeah. Array of toothbrushes that she can pick from. And also just a pick your size selection of pink Washington Nationals hoodies. She's like, what the hell is this? Double XL, small to extra large, all in one closet? He's like, yeah, for whoever stays over. It's like,
He's a dumbass.
It is a nice gesture. He's thinking ahead, but he's also a dumbass.
He's a player.
Yeah.
Because he's a baseball player.
He a player. So she's stormed out on him. Yeah. And then realizes that she's kind of more so projecting her nerves about the Team USA tryouts, and so she comes back in to apologize. And you cut back to George, our executive.
It's okay. Yeah.
His life takes an abrupt turn for the worse when he suddenly finds himself the target of a federal criminal investigation for corporate malfeasance and stock fraud at a company run by his father, Charles Madison, Jack Nicholson. Shane Victorino.
Here's Johnny. Yeah. What if he was just doing bits from other movies in this?
Kind of felt like it when he's always just yelling. I don't like to do. I was like, oh, calm down, Jack.
Yeah. He's pretty past his prime in this. I think this is a favorite from James L. Brooks.
Yeah, this is his last role, but I think that he talked with the other guy, and I think he gets fired and basically abandoned by his company, but his father still sticks by his side, as does his pregnant secretary, right? Annie. Yeah, Catherine Hahn.
Yeah. I like Catherine Hahn.
And so still reeling from this blow of being fired, basically. I mean, he's still working for them, but he's like not allowed back in the building, basically.
He's like suspended, yeah.
Yeah. George, he goes to his girlfriend for sympathy and is stunned when she just breaks up with him then and there. She's like, I'm really busy at work and you've got all this baggage and like prison stuff. That's too much for me.
Too much. So it's a bad day for Paul Rudd. Ooh.
He begins to spiral. He goes huge on Bloody Marys and he's throwing out steaks.
Rack. Yeah.
And Annie calls him freaking out about earlier when she found out that he was leaving and his dad was going nuts at him. She almost punched Jack Nicholson. So she's freaking out about trying to punch Charles earlier and how she has to divert people from talking to George or she can be found financially liable. She has like an NDA.
Yeah, so they're all in trouble. He's freaking out. He's got no one to turn to. Except maybe a girl he said, I don't want to date you.
Yeah. On a whim, he just calls up and invites Lisa to lunch. And although she just left with Maddie, she accepts because her and Maddie aren't like official or anything. They're not serious.
She's a player too.
And their date is next night. Like, they're moving quick.
One thing I think is, I don't know if the movie ever, I think you're pretty set on George and Lisa the whole movie. Just with the way that the structure of the movie suggests it all. Even if they don't end up together, that's like the main thread, even at this point.
And the whole time I know it's supposed to be this love triangle kind of thing. I was never like, yeah, Lisa's gonna end up with Maddie. I never felt that.
I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you.
Also, Owen Wilson being paid $10 million for this small of a role, like he didn't have a lot in the movie.
It's true supporting. You're right. That's crazy.
Paul Rudd might have been a bigger role than Reese Witherspoon. He had a lot in this movie.
He had more backstory, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so their date's the next night. So George has just got to get through the next 24 hours, and then he gets to go on a date with a hottie.
A baseball hottie.
But the next morning, Lisa also gets the bad news and is devastated when she finds out she's left off of the Team USA roster.
31. So a couple of misery commiserators.
Ooh.
These two will be.
Yeah. And George is leaving for his date when his dad stops by to deliver more bad news about the board's decision. But instead of listening to his dad, he wants to take his battles one step at a time to minimize feeling overwhelmed, and he runs off.
That was a good bit. I like that. You can't just run away. And he runs away.
Dad, I gotta run away.
Yeah.
You can't just run away.
You can't do it. And they start swinging an axe around, yeah.
This feels like a you kind of move, You're getting bad news after bad news. You're like, just don't tell me. Let me just process this one and then hit me with another one.
A little bit. Or a Seth move, yeah.
Or a Seth move.
Where is that guy? I thought he was supposed to be on for this one.
No, he keeps saying he's going to be on. He's going to be on next week's with our guest.
Sydney.
Did you just burp or did you just mouth that?
I've been burping, yeah.
Your mic didn't pick that up apparently. You just went. And so he runs off to the date. The whole team is over at Lisa's to comfort her because she's, like I said, the lifeblood, the veteran on the team, a leader, yeah. But she doesn't want any of the sympathy either. And she's like, just treat me the same way every day I show up to practice. Don't be giving me all that pity for not making the team. Just make me one of you still.
Why is she still gonna go to practice?
I don't know. That's a weird question. Or that's a weird plot point. She shouldn't be.
Maybe in their professional settings, yeah.
And so the date. They show up at the date. It's a nice fancy restaurant. Turns out to be a disaster. He is so overwhelmed with his troubles that he's just word vomiting on her.
He's just wallowing, yeah.
She eventually asks that they just eat in silence. So they do. And then they part ways, kind of not expecting to see one another again. But after the date's over, George realizes, this is exactly what he needed. He's like, I met this solid girl. I'm going to fall in love. And she's like, that was a meal.
That was, yeah, he's freaky. He freaked me out a little bit.
And so, his days kind of turned around. So he calls his dad. He's like, all right, give me the news that you were going to tell me earlier. He finds
I
out,
was
he's like,
pumped.
the board's not going to pay for your legal representation because it's a
I'm pumped.
conflict of interest.
Of course.
If the company is trying to sue you or the
Yeah, why would they?
stockholders,
They can't have your lawyer.
yeah. And we can't have daddy paying for the lawyer either because that's also a conflict of interest. You got to pay
Yeah,
for it
find your
yourself.
own. Get a public defender.
So he's lawyer hunting, realizes he can't use the borrowed money, being connected. So he needs a good lawyer, which means he's going to have to sell all his things to afford it. Sells his
God.
big old house, all his possessions, move into a small, although this apartment wasn't small. Do you see that bay window of his?
That was gigantic. Yeah.
I mean, it was an
Right.
hour outside of the city, but still, good apartment.
I mean, I drive like 40 minutes to work every day too. Yeah.
That's true, but you're living in the city and going to a small. Usually, you live in the suburb and go to the city. You commute to the city. You're doing it reverse
I'm
style.
doing it queer style. Yeah.
You're doing it Glebe
Oddly,
style.
leave style. So does George.
Devin last week said he liked Owen Gleiberman's review.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. Devin's a bit of a Gleberman
Backward
film
backward
backwards
minds
thinking.
think alike.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
unsure what to do next for Lisa. She just kind of the date was a fail. She goes to be with Maddie, and she's gonna like sublet her apartment out. She's like, maybe we'll just move in together. I don't have any true ambitions right now. I'm cut from the team. Maybe
He's like,
softball's coming to
sure,
an end. Yeah, he
why
does
not?
invite her in, and he's got like this big old penthouse in the same like upscale downtown building where George's father Charles lives.
Even better, yeah, Maddie. And he's on
And
like Sports Center every night. Do you see he's like a starter?
he was a starting pitcher, yeah.
That would be like the best job, I think, to be a starting pitcher because I was thinking about it watching it. You would pitch like every 5 games,
Four or
right?
five games, yeah.
Which means like once a week because of the off days and stuff.
Mhm.
You don't have to like worry about coming in when you're not off days. You're just there. Sometimes you can suck and it's fine. You only get to pitch 2 innings that game and you're out. And you get paid like more than any other position. That would be the best job of all time, to be a starting
Yeah.
pitcher. Although I have heard like you pitch hard and then like 3 straight days you have to like ice your arm and do nothing else. But yeah,
I mean, when you're cranking 90 plus mile an hour throws for 100, if you like pitch like five, six innings and you throw in 100 pitch, that arm's gonna be wrecked.
imagine like dudes all in the back in the day then, like Bob Feller who would pitch like 100 miles an hour and pitch like 40 complete games in a season.
Right?
Crazy.
Because they only had two pitchers, you just rotate back and forth.
And then Matty never was icing his arm this whole movie, I don't think.
Yeah, I never saw him.
I didn't even know if he's a righty or a lefty.
I might have seen him ice his arm once. I think he might be a righty.
But was that, yeah. I mean, that would make sense, majority.
He was watching Sports Center once, and I think there was a highlight of him on the screen, and I think he pitched it
And he was,
right-handed, but
okay. I can't
I don't
remember.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's gonna move in. They're just gonna be together. She goes to like the shortest therapy session of all time, and like they just start talking for a moment. She's like, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm not meant for this to speak about my feelings." And the lawyer or the not the lawyer, the therapist was
Therapist.
like, opened her eyes up to like what therapy could. She's like, "Wow, I
One
get
session.
therapy now. I'm
I love it.
cured. Thanks."
Like a freshman who does Psych 101 and starts diagnosing everybody. Yeah.
Exactly.
Kind of a funny side story. And
Somebody who takes film 101 and immediately just won't shut up about the mise en scène.
exactly. About Kurosawa.
Yeah. So when Lisa came to Maddie, she told him that if she's like ever sulking or feeling down, he should just ignore it. And he's kind of done that for some time now, that she's annoyed that he never asks about her life or her feelings. Because at first he was like, hell yeah, I don't have to ask you about your feelings. That's great for me.
Yeah, but then he's just kind of just like a golden retriever guy.
He has that golden retriever energy because they're at like a party and he's like, just really trying to get her to eat this Texas barbecue that he had flown in. And she's like
Yeah.
really depressed, and he's like,
Yeah.
"We're gonna try this barbecue, babe." Wow.
He's kind of a dumbass. Who could have played this? We talked about this last in this same
Yeah, we said like
episode.
Chris
Yeah.
Hemsworth.
Yeah. Maybe he's even too intelligent. This guy is kind of a dunce.
We said Liam Neeson would have been perfect for Reese
With James
Witherspoon's
Corden.
role.
Yeah, it would have. You're right.
You took my daughter. I'm gonna crush this ball 450 feet.
Follow me, George.
Liam Neeson and Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Those characters ever meet? I don't.
No, I don't think so.
Nicholson and Witherspoon? That's interesting.
I don't think so.
Maybe they see each other.
I think he definitely sees Lisa towards the end, but I don't know if they
Lisa
ever like
sees her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shook
Well, so she's all depressed. They leave the party. He throws out this barbecue and comes home with her, and he tries to listen, but he mostly just tells her like immature stories in an attempt to cheer her up.
Yeah. That's not what a woman wants, Brandon. And how do we know what a woman wants?
How do you know? I don't
How
know.
do you know? I can only guess. You can't know.
You can't know. But surprisingly, it worked. It cheered her up. These stupid little stories.
I guess. For now.
And Maddie realizes, like, I don't know what the time frame was, days later, weeks later, he's in the pitcher's bullpen mid-game. He realizes that he's in love with Lisa after some conversations with the boys.
That's right. And he wouldn't be in the bullpen as a starting pitcher on an off day. He would just be in the dugout, I would believe, right?
I think, no, maybe all pitchers are just out there just hanging out.
Maybe they get to choose, I guess, but maybe.
The closers of the relief pitchers for sure are in there.
They hang out there, yeah, but I've always thought the starters are in the dugouts. I've seen them I think they may just get to choose who their homies are with.
But he realizes he's in love, and he calls her to propose that they officially move in together, not just her staying over. So he's gonna clear out some drawers for her.
He's gonna get rid of the other sizes of hoodies. Yeah.
He cleared out one sock drawer in his gigantic walk-in.
Reese could honestly sleep in there, but yeah, he's so tiny.
The only thing that wouldn't fit is the chin. It'd poke out.
Yeah.
So George, he moves into his new apartment after selling his home and possessions. Like we said, it's kind of nice. You could doll it up. And Annie, she comes to visit him. She brings him housewarming food because when she's stressed, she cooks. And Annie is so loyal that she's like trying to give him some insider information in advance, but he urges her, do not give me that information because you will lose your job. And you've got a kid on the way, but you're not married or even engaged. It's like
you need this. He's being
protect
a good
yourself.
guy.
Oh, for sure. And George's father calls him to tell him that the rumor is that he's just going to be indicted and could face prison time. He's like, fuck.
That's good. Oh, he kind of already was guessing at that, but yeah.
True. But
it's bad news, to be sure. His dad never calls it good news.
No. So he is heading to his dad's, ride the elevator up at the building when he bumps into Lisa.
There she is.
Is going up to hers and Maddie's apartment.
Wow.
Hands full of groceries, helps her carry them in.
Friendly. They're not like awkward and depressed anymore.
Yeah, they're both, although they're not having the best moments of their lives, they're
cordial with each other.
Yeah. And he helps her carry the groceries in. They're chatting. When Maddie returns home, he is upset to find Lisa at, in quotes, his place with an uninvited guest.
Yeah, and she's like, what the fuck? You cheating on me? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get him out of here. You got to talk about me. Yeah. Get him out of here.
I mean, that's kind of fair to see like an uninvited guest of the opposite sex. You're like, whoa, what is this? But the thing that really threw over the edge was his place.
Yeah, because she's supposed to officially moved in.
And so Maddie inadvertently offends her. Lisa moves out And George kind of pounces off the opportunity to chase her down. And they're outside. She asks to like come to his place and charge her phone. So he's like, sure.
Ooh. Yeah. But she's also got vindictive thoughts on her mind.
Maddie, as they're getting ready to like go, I liked this little moment. Calls down to like the doorman to stop Lisa, but he like looks over as George is with Lisa and they're standing at the bus stop, and he just sees like how elated George is to have like this one winning moment in his life. So the doorman tells him, he's like, I couldn't catch her. I'm sorry. He's like, oh, that's kind of sweet.
Letting her, yeah. Poor Maddie. Although we don't really feel bad for the dog man.
Lisa spends a pleasant yet tipsy evening just as friends at George's like modest new apartment where they finally talk like they didn't on their first date.
She's got the sweater thing with the one shoulder, you know.
Yeah, right. You can see the bra strap.
There you go. Very softball-y.
Mm-hmm. He shares stories about how like his mother left him and his dad when they were young, about his recent breakup, about being unemployed, being a target of the federal investigation. She shares about her hardships in softball games and how she's off Team USA and now with nothing left, she's supposed to do the standard like retired, find love, have kids, get a degree, but she's not so sure she's capable of that ordinary post-retirement life.
Yeah, she might have to kill herself.
Jesus, no, I don't think she said that.
I think that's what's implied, though. It happens to a lot of athletes.
That's true.
And veterans.
It's also true. I'd say more so veterans than athletes, but.
Did she say she did a tour in?
She didn't do a tour. She didn't do a tour in the Middle East. No, she didn't do that before her softball career.
I thought, or she was like a Korean national.
Nope. No service.
I must have picked
maybe she could try and get into the service though.
Yeah, she could become like a server.
No.
Why not? That's an accessible job.
Not that kind of service.
The service industry?
Just start calling people who have served overseas. I'm in the armed service industry.
You were a server. Nice.
You won't believe how bad of tips we made.
Lost an arm and a leg serving in college.
That's funny. So she finally, while she's hanging out drunk at Georgia, she finally answers a call from Maddie. He's been calling her all night. She accepts his apology and leaves to go back to his place. And although upsetting, George had the best night of his life that he can remember in recent years.
He's got a twinkle in his eye.
He does. And so he goes to meet his father after talking with Annie, and Charles drops one last bombshell on his son. He is framing his son for the acts. He committed this illegal act for which George is being charged, but due to a previous similar conviction when he was put on probation, if he is indicted, he will spend at least 25 years, and with his old age, that's basically the rest of his life in prison, whereas George, with a first-time offense, would only do 3 years at most, maybe even 2 if he gets off on a good behavior clause. So,
which in Paul Rudd would not. He's a bad boy in the joint.
Yeah.
So shitty dad move. Yeah, don't be doing crimes and pinning them on your kids.
He's putting that Sophie's choice on his own son.
Yeah, and knowing that he can't. He wouldn't sentence his dad's life to prison because he's a good guy.
Well, and like before knowing it, it was like a Schrodinger's cat Sophie's choice thing. But now that he knows it, it's like a Schrodinger's cat Sophie's choice Chekhov's gun kind of situation.
The gun is there, as my kids say. That's a Chekhov's gun, Mr. Lorenz. Yeah.
Would they have said that this is a Chekhov's gun?
Of course, they say everything's a Chekhov's gun.
Would they have said it's a Sophie's choice?
They don't know that. Maybe I should introduce them to some Holocaust literature. That's
What
great.
about Schrodinger's cat?
Turner's cat. A couple probably would be familiar with it. There's some weirdos in there.
You need to have all of these three in there in their verbiage.
All these literary,
Yeah.
philosophical. Yeah. Is this
Um.
the allegory of the cave again, Mr. Lawrence?
So he's got some big decisions to make, and he tells him, "I can't make this decision right now, but give me a little time."
Okay, son.
Cut back to Maddie and Lisa. Maddie's heading off on a road game series, and Lisa asks him
For
right
what?
before he leaves.
Oh, I mean, Maddie, never mind. Yeah.
You think of George?
No, Lisa. I was like, she's
Oh.
cut. Yeah.
No, Maddie's heading off. She asked him right before he leaves if they are monogamous. He says essentially. He's given up everything except the anonymous sex, but she should be happy with that because he has come so far for her already. Like, to go from a playboy sleeping with girls every night to only now doing anonymous sex
on road trips
to with girls he doesn't know. That's a huge improvement. You got to look at
I
the
would say
glass
so.
half full upside of it all.
And she kind of does. She's like, I guess.
Yeah, she is ready to move out. She's like, I'm done. But he vows to be monogamous. So yet again, he convinces her, and she stays with him. That's
fine, I guess.
That was strike number 3. Yet somehow in his baseball world,
Ooh.
he's still in.
That's good, Brandon. Yeah.
Thanks. I made that up on the spot.
That was good.
Yeah, it was a foul tip. Yeah, you're right. So he leaves, and she's just kind of alone. She goes to watch Team USA play. Support her team.
Her. Yeah.
But even watching them, she feels alone. So she goes to George's, his apartment. But she doesn't go inside. She calls him.
Yeah.
Standing just below his window, asking if they can hang out. Not knowing that he's just above her with his window open, hearing the conversation right there and just watching her. While she pretends to be like, oh, I'm 30 minutes away, but traffic slide, I could be even there even quicker.
Yeah, so he's like, okay, maybe. So he knows. There's a cute little.
That's how does he know? He knows.
How does he know? The window was fucking open. Yeah.
So she shows up. She tries to leave right away, but he invites her in, not trying to reveal that he knew she was there earlier to embarrass her or anything. And then she begins to just like word vomit about how she regrets everything she's been saying.
She flips it on him. Yeah.
He enacts the same thing she had on the date. She didn't forcefully put her hand over his mouth or anything.
Yeah. But
he does
the
that.
roles are reversed. Yeah.
Yes. He's like, stop talking.
Chill out, bitch. You're scaring me.
If you're regretting everything you're saying, just don't say anything.
Which to Reese Witherspoon was a death sentence, little chatterbox.
No, she took that in stride.
I mean, in real life.
Oh yeah.
Not the
and while Lisa is over, Annie calls George to let him know she had her baby.
Amazing.
He's like, you want to go meet the secretary of mine at the hospital? She's like, sure.
Sure, she had a kid.
That's what first-time mothers always want, is a stranger coming into their...
A +1 to
the
NICU. Yeah.
So they come in, they see Annie, they see the baby, and they're like, where's the father? She's like, oh, he's coming in just now. He's right around the corner. Paul Rudd's dad, Jack Nicholson, walks in holding presents. He's like, where's the baby?
He knew that was going to happen. Where's the baby? He's 1,000 years old, yeah.
Here's baby!
And there's still, like, secretary-boss relationship maintained and not, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever.
But no, they're not together. It was just good timing as her actual boyfriend and baby daddy comes in right behind him.
It's Marlon Wayans.
This is not Marlon Wayans. I have no clue who this was.
No. Isn't there a thing like, is it Mick Jagger just had a kid or something? Like, no, Robert De Niro just had a kid, right?
What?
And he's like 85 years old or whatever.
God damn it.
Yeah, he's literally just had a kid with his Asian wife.
You gotta quit having kids at 60. Like, that has to be a hard cutoff.
Because the kids after Robert De Niro kid. How old is Robert De Niro? 81. That's bad.
That's
He was
too old.
born in 1943.
Did you see that Ohio was trying to pass a new law that will like charge and ticket men $10,000 for every ejaculation they have that isn't intended to procreate?
That's cool.
So if you're having
cool.
if you're having
You can enforce
anonymous like sex or sex to not have a child and you're not
Or
wearing a
jerking off.
condom, I don't think jerking off counts. And as long as you wear a condom, you're not charged if you're not trying to procreate. But if
Why
you
wouldn't
have
jerking off count?
because I don't think it's technically procreation anyway. But like there's no possibility of it. But if you're having unprotected sex without the intention of procreation, $10,000 fine.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's gnarly. But if you're rich, I guess.
True. And you get up to 3 strikes. Strike 3 is the $10,000 penalty. So.
And I guess jerk off all you want, Ohio.
Go huge.
From the words of Brandon. Yeah.
Yeah, Glebe style in Ohio.
That's right. Glebe style.
So at the hospital, there's mom, baby, boyfriend, boss,
Nicholson.
other boss, bosses plus one. The room's full. Annie's boyfriend finds that this is the perfect time to propose. His name's Al. He asks George, he's like, take the camera, record the moment. But being so caught up in the moment, George forgets to hit record. And now they do this little task of redoing the whole proposal, like reliving the moments. And Paul Rudd,
all these actors have to reacting. Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon chimes in. She's like, "No, you did this, not this. You were sitting and then kneeling,
messing it up again." Yeah.
Marlon Wayne's crip walking in the background.
Well, he's the father, so.
And during this fabrication of the proposal to get it on camera, Lisa, she takes charge. And when seeing the baby and seeing the proposal and this true love, she begins to reconsider her previous reluctance to settle down.
I kind of do want a man, even though she did want to be monogamous with Maddie. She was pretty emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah,
emotionally
unavailable. And so as they go outside, George tries to tell her his feelings, but the bus shows up at the most inopportune time. She gets on the bus. He doesn't get his moment, but she sees him flail his arms and stamp off in a temper tantrum. So she tells him, she stops the bus. She gets off and she goes to check on him. And she's like, oh, we'll wait for the next bus. You can actually talk to me. Next bus rolls up immediately.
Right away. Yeah.
She tells him how she isn't living with Maddie anymore, but she still has to give him a chance because he's trying. So although she has enjoyed her time with George, she cannot jump into life with him.
Mm-hmm.
But she tells him that Maddie is throwing her a birthday party tomorrow. And he's like, can I come? She's like, sure. She invites him along. And he's like, when's your birthday? She said it was tonight. And I'm just happy to have spent it with somebody who cared about me.
That's nice. All these kind of cheating assholes is nice.
And so George finally gets the idea about his situation with work. He makes this proposition to his father. He will take one more shot at persuading Lisa to be with him. If she does, Daddy's going to jail.
Wow.
If she doesn't, he's got nothing else to live for at the moment. I'll take the fall for you.
Nicholson's okay.
And so it's the party. So the next day it's the party. Lisa receives a gift from both her men at the party. Maddie gives her like a diamond-crested watch.
Fuck yeah, it's a Patek.
That not only is it an expensive gift, it's a symbol for their monogamy.
Patek. Yeah, and it's got a Triple H 917 motor. It's got the bezel. It's got a dive meter that goes to 300 meters.
I forgot that you were a watch guy.
Yeah, it was a sick watch, Brandon. I do think it was a Cartier, actually. But
yeah. And this is a symbol of their monogamy and how his dad gave his mom a watch once, and then 7 years later they were engaged, something like that. So they're pre-engaged.
It's a solid gift, and it was designed by popular Horologist Vladimir de Matusu.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
George gives her some Play-Doh.
Mm-hmm.
It also has a story. It's a symbol that represents how malleable life is, and how just like the idea of Play-Doh being built as a construction insulating tool, now it's a toy. Her life could just be one small adjustment away from being better. And one of the
fun.
big catches, Maddie rushed her to open the gift. George doesn't. He lets her open it the way she likes to open gifts, delicately.
Glebe style. Yeah.
She likes to open her gifts cranking it.
Glebe style. That's how she opens it.
Hey, buddy, can you quit cranking it in front of the guests and just open your presents normally?
Come on, bud. Come on, Owen.
So George, he confesses his feelings for her. And he's like, I'm going downstairs. If you reciprocate these feelings, come meet me downstairs. And he leaves the party to give her time to think it over. And Lisa goes to find Maddie. And she finally says goodbye to him. Although he has been great, and he will be great for somebody, it's just not right. So she goes down to join George. And they're outside. Charles is looking down from his penthouse, sees them together, and he's like smiling at the sight of his son with somebody that cares. And then that smile just fades. He's like, fuck, I'm going to jail.
That's Lisa for the rest of my life.
I'm going to die in prison. Shit.
It's a cold move from Georgie.
That's very cold.
Good moment, though.
Yeah.
The last thing we see in his career, Nicholson's.
And they kiss. Lisa is, I put Bisa. Lisa is confused about her feelings and tells George, she's like, I thought you were like the silly guy, and now it's like everything but you seems silly.
A good line. Yeah.
And George suggests that she has never felt the kind of like overwhelming love where the guy is the whole deal, which helps her realize that she's in love with him. A new feeling.
It's what true love is.
Yeah. So
the first time.
Lisa then reaches out, holds his hands as they sit at the bus stop waiting to go back to his place to live the more mundane life. The bus comes by, and then it drives off, and they're gone. And I love that little bus ending as they disappear, and that is the end.
There's some good bus. Chekhov's bus.
Chekhov's bus. But how do you know it's ended?
How do you know it's a Chekhov's gun, Mr. Lawrence?
How do you know it's a Chekhov's bus? How do you know the difference between a Chekhov's bus and a Chekhov's gun?
Well, one fires bullets, Brandon.
Oh, and one drives, you're right. Well, one doesn't fire bullets. That's how you know the difference. One
rarely fires bullets.
A gun and a bus, yeah.
Yeah. But that is how we know.
And how do you know that this is the end of the movie? Because we got Quirrs.
That was a good setup there, Captain.
Thanks. My bullet points are so small for the quotes. Why are they so much smaller than everything else?
Size 6 font.
You have any quotes?
I did take some quotes, and then I'm withholding them in my weekly hunger strike of the quotes.
Okay. I've got 10 for you. 3 from IMDb.
Give me those ones first.
Okay. This is Lisa talking to Maddie. She says, okay, then this is what I need. If in the middle of the night I start crying, shaking, or getting enormously upset, I don't want you to ask me what's wrong. I just want you to ignore it. Is that okay with you? And Maddie's like, wow, actually, that's my preference.
Wow. Yeah. Good to me.
In the bullpen, when he finally realized he's in love, Maddie's like, how do you know when you're in love? And one of the bullpen pitchers just goes, I think I'm in love with somebody when I wear a condom with the other girls, okay? And Maddie's like, holy shit, I'm in love.
Oh my goodness, what a revelation.
Holy shit, I'm in love.
Holy shit, I wear condoms.
And then my last one, another Maddie Lisa one, actually. All my IMDibs were Maddie Lisa. Maddie goes, this is when she's at George's and he's on the phone with her. He said, I screwed up. That's why I wrote something out that I want to I want to say it to you. Okay, this will be good. Is it bad that I wrote it out? She's like, well, it's unusual. It's not bad. Just stop asking me like things like that. That's weird. He goes, oh yeah, sorry. I went nuts when you left. I broke a lamp. And she's like, okay, read me the thing. He's like, oh, that was the thing.
That was it. And then the pants too. I went nuts when you left. I broke a lamp on his napkin. Yeah,
Yeah. He couldn't remember that. He had to write that down.
that's funny. I've broken a lamp over a woman before too.
Wow.
In high school. Wow.
Let's see. The ones that I took myself, a Maddie quote. After they have sex, he wakes up the next morning and goes, wow, amazing sex.
Amazing.
Female jocks are amazing.
You're so amazing. Yeah. Wow. He did do the wow.
Wow. I think this was it was either Lisa, I think it's Lisa at the first date with George. When she's asking him if he wants a drink, he says, I need to feel better. She said, never drink to feel better. She said, only drink to feel even better.
Yeah,
only drink in the
only
good
a mood
times.
amplifier. There's kind of some truth to it.
When George is at the bus and she asks if she can come to his place to charge his phone, she's like, do you live around here? He's like, yeah, it's not far at all. Only about like an hour by bus. Probably more like an hour 10.
I get it.
When they are drinking at his apartment, they cheers their drinks, and Paul Rudd, just drunk, just goes, to people who make toasts. Like, that's his cheer. To people who make toasts. And then he looks down and he went, I just touched your leg. She's like, yeah, I know.
So super playfully. I can't ever get Groundhog Day out of my head ever again now. Do you remember the toasts in that one? A world peace.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, another one when he's making drinks for them when they're getting drunk at his place. He goes, you're going to love this drink. I used to be a bartender back when I was working my way through bartending.
That's a good, I didn't like that, yeah.
That's a funny line.
That's a good James L. Brooks line. Straight from the master.
When she gets off the bus to see him because she saw him throw the tantrum, and she goes, I'll wait till the next bus. And the next bus just rolls up, and she goes, what the hell is this? This is the opposite of a bus strike.
They're quick with it.
And then my last one, when Maddie gives her the watch, he goes, do you know what this means? She's like, no. He's like, it means we're engaged. She's like, what? He's like, engaged to be engaged. My father bought my mother a watch once, and 7 years later they were engaged.
It's the promise watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Bust Cartier.
So that's my 10 quotes.
I had 11, but
you're back at 11.
I guess we had one of the same, so we both had 10.
Oh, we did have one of the same. Nice. It's ratings time. We're gonna go with Thermometer critics.
You said at one point that this movie was critically reviled. So I'm gonna say a 28%.
You win. It's a 31.
Seth can lick my ass, yeah.
And I think, remember, you were down 0-4, 3-1.
0-4 maybe?
3-1. You got one of them with the US and Canada.
I think so.
But the people's weed, the popcorn mitter.
People might have felt similarity. I'll go 43%.
Seth wins. The people gave it a 25.
They were even harsher, Brandon.
Yeah. Oh. Now we're going to IMDb. Metascore out of 100.
Metascore is a 40.
You win. 4-3 right now. It's a 46.
Ooh.
Critics with a 31 and a 46 for a You're welcome, Lucas. You're welcome, Lucas. For a 38.5. Audience score out of 10. What is IMDb giving this audience-wise?
I need this so badly in my personal life. I'm going to say a 3.0.
Oh, Seth wins. It's a 5.4.
That's so off.
Yeah, it wasn't even like that close. So let's see.
That's
As a 40% for the people and a 38% for critics. Let's see where this lands at a 5.4 on our list.
probably right in the middle.
It's right in the middle. It's the 75th worst film we've ever done.
Yeah, it sounds like it's right in the middle.
And we've got around it are 3 movies that we're going to be doing here in the next month. Just worse than this include Little Nicky,
Boo.
Point Break, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers,
Boo.
8 Crazy Nights,
Big boo.
the Cogman Transformers,
That's the best one.
and Morbius.
You know Spielberg is a producer on all the Transformers
I
movies?
did know that,
executive
actually, yeah. And then just better than this, Earth Girls Are Easy,
Good movie.
Hotel for Dogs,
Made you cry.
Jack Frost,
Good movie.
Christmas with the Cranks,
Bad movie.
and Dude, Where's My Car?
Terrible movie.
And we can never leave out New Year's Eve, just better than this as well.
Good movie.
Good movie.
As
So,
you know.
a 38 and a 40%. What are
And
you
a
giving?
19 and a 45. I think I'm gonna give it. It's pretty commiserate with my rom-com meter on the lasagna scale. I think this is a 6.8 on the lasagna scale for me.
Okay.
I like Reese Witherspoon. I like Jack Nicholson. I like baseball. It was pretty breezy. It was fine. It was comfortable. I don't see anything too wrong with it. It was a little trite, maybe, but I mean, nothing to separate it out of the normal rom-com sphere. I like the script a little bit. 6.6. I'm gonna pump it down to 6.
You're going to go down a little bit. I'm a 5.8.
We're within 10.
We're within 10. So you liked this more than Set It Up. I liked Set It Up more than this.
I think I like this more than Set It Up. Yeah, a little grander.
This movie's a little long at 2 hours and 5 minutes. And honestly, when watching it, I think that you could make an individual movie just of the father-son corporate fraud storyline. There doesn't have to be this love triangle in there. That was the most compelling part of it. Owen Wilson was
Sophie's Choice.
I thought Paul Rudd was pretty good, and I thought Reese was okay in it. I didn't find myself loving the romance, though. I wanted a little more aspect to it, and so that always takes a hit within this genre. But I'll say a 5.8.
Oeuvre.
An oeuvre. And then reviews. We got 3 critics, just for you. Peter De Bruges.
I love the critics.
Peter De Bruges at Variety says, "How do you know when the spark is gone? When your lightest romantic comedy looks like TV, feels like greeting card poetry, and sounds like a self-help manual."
Oh, harsh, De Bruges.
Richard Corliss at Time said, "Yeah, well, I still like the film."
Me too, buddy. That's all right.
Not much more. And then Big Rock at the Chicago Sun-Times. He said, nothing heats up. The movie doesn't lead us. It simply stays in step. 2 out of 4 stars.
My dad always used to say, it's hotter than an Arab's instep out here, and I never knew what that meant.
Yeah, what the hell does that mean?
I don't know, Dad.
Weird. So, 3 critics. How about some users, drug users?
Ooh, how about some butt plug users?
Butt plug user number 1, the little songbird.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Get this, the longest of the user reviews.
Wow.
Who wouldn't have guessed it? She says, "I wanted to like this film, as I do like Jack Nicholson, and although the trailer was uninspiring on the whole, I was intrigued in a way. How do you know had its moments, but for me it didn't work. Its redeeming qualities come from some of the beguiling filming and scenery, a nice soundtrack, and 2 good performances from Paul Rudd and Catherine from Paul Rudd and Katherine Hahn, particularly Rudd. The story, for starters, is very plodding and predictable, with an ending you can smell a mile off. While neither the comedic and romantic aspects works, few of the comedic moments feel natural, and the romantic moments are stilted both in pace and flow of the dialogue. Even with my disappointment with Nicholson, it is very little compared to Reese Witherspoon, who never seems comfortable in this movie, and the whole performance seems forced. All in all, disappointing. 4 out of 10.
Good review. She did seem like she wanted to be a little wild. Like that movie she made, Wild.
Wild is good.
Called?
Yeah.
I never saw Wild.
Wild is pretty good. Kind of forgettable though, but good.
Didn't she win some? Did she win the best actress for that?
She was nominated.
She's still searching for it.
Well, she won for Walk the Line.
Did she?
Yeah, she won for June.
No.
She did.
That was a myth propagated by society.
She won and Joaquin was nominated. No, I think Meryl Streep won the next year for The Iron Lady or something.
No, she won her portrayal for June.
Carter. Next up, Snoopy Style. This butt plug user says, director-writer James L. Brooks has created quite a charming little movie. All three lead actors are a affable lot. They make the most likable love triangle. In that way, it's unlike other rom-coms. Owen Wilson is actually lovable, if only a little bit clueless. The lack of an evil character may be what has thrown the most people off. I could see the love triangle going either way. 7 out of 10.
The lack of an evil character. Imagine if there was a little evil imp in there. A little gnome.
Like a Dracula.
A little evil Dracula figure. That's what Seth.
Yeah, he's got to be little.
Jinjo.
Seth would say that. He watches this movie. He's like, "Where's Dracula?
Where's Dracula? When does he show up?"
Bleh.
You're making so much noise.
Next, Cosmasp. This is a butt plug user.
Dumbass alert. Dumbass alert.
He says, what is this? How did this even start? Maybe I missed a line. It says, or in that case, I should have. I was warned, but I ignored the negative attention the movie got. I wanted to see it for myself. With so much talent at hand, you never would have guessed they could have gone completely wrong. Well, they did. So that is actually an achievement in itself. 2 out of 10.
Thinks he's hot shit, do you, Cos? You try making a movie, Cosmas. You try it.
What a dumbass.
Dumbass.
From all the butt plugs. Next up, returner Unique Particle.
Ooh, sneak up on you.
He says, I love it. Great feel-good movie and the last time Jack Nicholson acted, so that's nice. James L. Brooks is incredible at his craft. I especially loved Definitely Maybe that he directed a few years before this. I didn't put definite. He didn't direct that. That's...
yeah.
Where is it? I Definitely Maybe that he directed a few years before this. How Do You Know is a little bit off. I understand the hate, but it's a fun story and well made. I really appreciate the smooth directing. Odd how they kept in the moments that should have been a retake, like when Paul Rudd falls down the stairs. Paul Rudd fell down the stairs?
I don't remember that.
Or
what movie is he talking about?
Or how early on Reese gets hit by a baseball when the phone rings. Stuff like that is unbalanced. Otherwise, I really like the movie quite a lot, and it deserves better. 8 out of 10. He said mostly lies.
Mostly lies. Who's this reviewer?
Unique Particle.
Unique Particles. He's pretty good, I guess. Good critical review.
Penultimate is by Nikishadak. It's a newcomer. They said, it's a good movie. Not a pinky, cloudy, funny kind. I really enjoyed it. Just one thing. If I'd ever choose between Owen Wilson and Paul Rudd, I'd just choose the threesome. I mean, come on. 10 out of 10.
Right. Good review. That's totally true.
Nikishadak.
Have them both.
And my last one is by California Girl 2058.
Ooh, a bikini lass.
She says, the only part that I didn't like was the part at 45 minutes and 43 seconds. The moaning by man and woman having intimacy relations. Nothing is shown, just moaning heard. I made an IMDb movie list that has over 955 movie titles that has no junk in them. So far, my IMDb movie list has over 177,400 views. That shows many people don't want to watch or hear two people going at it either. 10 out of 10.
No, they loved it though.
They really did.
What a swerve.
They just
Weird
didn't
review.
like the moan.
No, weird review. They loved the movie though.
When I read those two, I was like, usually I do like a 10 and a 1 or a 1 and a 10, but I read those two 10s. I was like, I gotta put them both in here. The threesome and the moan.
And they bucked the critical trend.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's gonna end it this week. Are you recommending How Do You Know?
Coming out. Fucking Ginzo. God damn it. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll recommend How Do You Know, especially if you're a rom-com fan. It is not an easy watch, but James L. Brooks makes it a breezy watch. Or maybe the other way around. So I'll give it the recommend stamp.
And I don't think I'm going to. I think we're gonna defer here.
You're diverging.
I think there's a lot better rom-coms that you can watch that are better for the genre, that are easier and breezier. 2 hours and 5 is quite a long time, and I didn't feel the tugs on my heartstrings as much. It didn't hit Brandon's cry meter.
You didn't even cry?
I didn't
I
even
guess you
cry.
wouldn't have. Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to, and that's going to end at movie 3 for the Love Lads.
Ooh. We're done loving. Ooh, sorry, Jinjo.
We got one more. We got guest Sydney, hopefully Seth, me, you, joining us for our second oldest film we've ever done from 1953, an Audrey Hepburn classic, Roman Holiday.
Roman Holiday.
Roman.
It's on Roman Holiday.
Wake me up when the holiday ends.
Dookie.
Another turning point, another Roman holiday.
That's pretty good. They want to be a Roman holiday.
That's good. Do you have the time to watch Roman Holiday?
There you go. Am I just stoned? Holiday. Yeah, but yeah, that's Green Day.
I just called to watch Roman Holiday. This is still Green Day.
Hey, Roman Delilah, what's it like in New York City?
What's it like in Rome?
What's it? Yeah. On holiday. So, it gets the big stamp of approval, recommend for How Do You Know from our podcast. So go check it out. Universal thumbs up.
Listen to some Green Day. And we'll see you next week. There's a good little ending there.
I think that's my best impression is Green Day, historically.
I think that's up there for me too, actually.
We do a good Green Day. Okay, I'll send it to you right now.
Sweet.
And then see you again tomorrow for noon.
21 hours.
I have to watch it 8 times.
No.
I could.
Over the next 21 hours, you've got to spend 16 hours watching Roman Holiday.
Is it only 2 hours? Is it 2 hours?
I think it's an hour 50.
Fuck. I have to watch some of it tomorrow morning.
Roman Holiday. Oh, it is 2 hours. An hour 58.
Credits probably make it like an hour and 20.
No. Probably like an hour 54.
Or like an hour 25. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, lots of credits.
The end and the beginning credits.
Exactly.
You know what's got beginning credits?
Oh, for sure. It's from 1953. It's got beginning credits.
Of course, it's got beginning credits.
But they'll probably be tasteful.
Of course, they'll probably be like illustrated cards almost.
Probably. You're right.
Alrighty, later,
All right.
Brandingo.
See ya.